Barakatah YAHAWAH, BaHa YAHAWASHI, BaHa RAWCHAA QADASH. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is, Who are the E's? The cursed people, the curse. This is a Lord's Will ongoing series that I have going on, breaking down the Edomites, father of Esau, the children of Esau. And pretty much in the last lesson we covered the origins of the so-called white race and who they go back to. And as was mentioned in the lesson and many other lessons, not just because you look like a so-called white person means that you are an Edomite. It depends on your lineage, where your line goes back to. If your line goes back to the Edomites, then you're an Edomite. If your line goes back to the Israelites, then you're an Israelite. If your line goes back to the Hamites, then you're a Hamite, so on and so forth. So in this lesson, I wanted to cover the curse. I was going to go into another part of it, but it's going to go into it. We covered the name Esau, which we're going to go into over again. And pretty much, to show you how the reason why this description was given of Esau was because it was an actual curse. And this is why Isaac reacted this way when he called his name Esau. Genesis 25:24, and when the days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So when he came out of his mother's womb, Isaac said, I shaw. In other words, wasted away is he. Now I have here the Ben Yehudi online, Ben Yehudi dictionary, but there's certain pages missing, and of course the page that I needed is missing from here. So I'm gonna go to the Ben Yehudi English Hebrew dictionary that I have in the book form. And on page, what is that? 230. I'm sorry, 239. Yeah, 239. When you look up the word Aishash, that's the I, Shah, and the Shah. It means to waste away, to dim eyes. So when you waste away, there's different ways you can waste away. You can pine away. You can waste away, through sickness. You can waste away through your pigment being taken away from you. Like, people that have leprosy, like with Jake, you'll see them have certain spots, and then those spots will keep growing and growing until they turn so-called like a white person, so you could understand. You could also waste away in the dimness of the eyes, like in the case of Jacob when he was old, his eyes were wasting away because, that's why he couldn't really see. So there's different ways to apply that. In this case, is dealing with the flesh. Now, I have here the word Aishash, which I believe I showed this last night. And it says to waste away, fail. There was a point, I'm trying to remember. There was another, okay. So pretty much to waste away. You could eat something, make it waste away. Something could eat at you, waste you away. Your eyes can waste away. In the case of Esau, his pigment, his skin color was wasted away or eaten. So you could understand the reason why the Lord did it that way and made those two boys come out. They were twin brothers, made them come out look totally different, is because this was the true mark. Esau is going to be the true mark of who the wicked are today. But even in that, there's going to be something that is going to be, that the Lord has to do and divide and separate, the nations from the Israelites, because some of the Israelites look like these other nations. So when we go to Numbers chapter 12 and verse 9, and this is when Aaron and Miriam spoke against Moses, and the Most High got highly upset, and he cursed Miriam. So the way that Esau looks in this society, it's a status, it's a protection, it's a coveted thing. You have Jakes that bleach their skin, you know, turn their hair blonde, put in contacts and make their eyes look blue, because in this society to have, you know, so-called white skin, blonde hair and blue eyes is a symbol of status, is a symbol of God, because this is the image that's been painted during the time of the Renaissance. And ever since that, these devils have made their look to be the superior look. That's why they call themselves the superior race and they call us inferior, you know, or the minority, which is a bunch of goddamn BS, you know. So when we read here in Numbers, this is, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. So the Lord turned her from a so-called black woman, a brown-skinned woman, to a so-called white woman, just like that. He stripped her of her pigment, just like that. He stripped her of that melanin, just like that. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And you know that Aaron didn't just look like, you know how you just casually look at somebody. He looked at her in astonishment and amazement and horror, sheer horror. So if it was a status symbol or a coveted thing or a superior thing to look like a so-called white person, why did Aaron react the way he did when he saw his sister, you know, being stripped of her pigment and being turned into a so-called white woman? Because that is a curse. It says, and Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us. So it was a sin to look like that. You know, so in this society, if you look like a so-called white man, you know, that's the coveted thing. But if you look like a so-called black man, especially the darker you are, the kinkier your hair is, the more flack you get. But that's the real actual royal color. That's the real royal color. Like I seen this Jake yesterday. I went to I forgot what store I went to, and I saw him. I think it might have been, I forget what store it was. And he was like a real dark, I mean real dark brown, you know, but it was like a beautiful, just like a real beautiful, super rich, dark color, you know. And it was like his skin had no flaws in it, you know. So, and I didn't think about it at the moment, but thinking about it now, you know, how would you want to pass up something like that to look like a piece of uncooked meat, you know, just because, you know, somebody said, you know, that looking like a so-called white person is, you know, is the status, you know. So like, I'm just trying to look something up here. Okay, so it says, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. All right. So pretty much to look like that is to be like someone that has no color, no pigment. And this is what, you know, this is what Esau looked like when he came out of his mother's womb. Because all babies, when they come out, you know, kind of pale. And then so-called black and brown children, you know, after a while they start getting their color coming in, you know. But Esau came out like straight up like this, like what he is, a so-called white person, so-called white man. All right. Now, when I looked up this word half consumed, right? The word consume goes back to the word akal, which means to eat, you know, and the word eat can be applied in different, you know, different variations. It could be eaten with the mind. It could be eaten with the mouth. You could be eaten by worms, and just, you know, so on and so forth. But there's a point in here we want to get. It says to eat, devour, burn up, feed. To eat, human subject. To eat, devour of beasts and birds. To devour, consume of fire. To devour, slay of sword. Right. So the one we're looking for, because he said whose flesh is half consumed. So we know we're talking about the actual flesh. So down here, it says to be devoured, consumed of fire, to be wasted, destroyed of flesh. And that's what leprosy does. It destroys the flesh. And that's why they're known as the Lord, as a cursed people, you know, which is one of the titles of this series, you know. And we looked up the word Aishash, right? And it says to waste away, to dim the eyes. When we look at the name Esau itself does not mean hairy. It's the Hebrew word Aishah, which is Aishashwah, because the wa at the end of a word, if it's not connected, is he or him. So they say it means hairy. It does not mean hairy. The name Seir, Sha'ir, means hairy. You know, and it gives you a description of him, and then they said that he's the progenitor of the Arab people, which is total bullshit. Unless they're talking about the Arab people that came from the Ottoman Empire, which were Turco-Edomites that embraced the religion of Islam. That's where you get the Ottoman Turks from. If they talk about those, then yeah, they're correct. But if they talk about the brown skin, you know, Ishmaelites, they're bugged out, because it tells you in the scriptures that the so-called Arabs came out of Ishmael, you know, Abraham's first son. All right, that's just a side note. All right, so moving on from there, let's go back. So it says, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. But let's read this again, the 11th verse. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord. This is an exclamation of grief. Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, I begging you, lay not this sin upon us. Don't curse us looking like that, please. Whatever you do, I know we went off, but please don't curse us looking like that. And because when they saw Miriam, they was like, oh shit, you know, we better chill, wherein we have done foolishly. So see, Aaron repented, and wherein we have sinned, we went off. So please don't lay that sin upon us. So to be leprous, white as snow, right, that is not a pretty thing. That is a cursed thing. It says, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And this is what Esau was when he came out of his mother's womb. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Aishah, wasted away is he. And one of the definitions for the word half consumed or consumed, where we at? The word akal, one of the words that they use in the description or the definition of it was here. It says to be wasted, destroy the flesh. And that's why Esau's name means Aishah or Aishashwah, wasted away is he. All right, let's see what else we got. We dealt with that. Now remember, because I always forget, I always got to keep finding this Aishash. It's H6244 in the Blue Letter Bible, because I forget. I've tried to find it and sometimes I forget. So to waste away, fail. All right, it could be of the flesh, it could be, you know, of a sickness, it could be of the eyes, be dim of eyes. You know, as we read in the Ben Yehudi dictionary, Then we have here in Isaiah 34 verse 5, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. This is the Most High speaking when he sends his son YAHAWASHI upon the earth to destroy Esau, because right now we're in the end of the world. It's the end of the world. And the people that are ruling, the scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And the people that are ruling are who? The so-called white man. If you're being honest with yourself, you can't say the African people are ruling. You can't say the Arabic people are ruling. You can't say the Chinese people are ruling. You know, you can't say anybody else is ruling but the so-called white man. They are ruling over all regions of the earth because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So if that's the case, the scriptures say that Esau is the end of the world. So if Esau is identified as being the wicked, and the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and they would be ruling at the end of the world, who are these so-called white people that are ruling? They have to be the Edomites. That's Bible prophecy. So it says, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Now Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. And the word Idumea, or the word Edom, goes back to the Hebrew word Adawam. Sometimes they bring it out, sometimes they don't. Let me click out of here. Right here, Adawam. Adawama. Adawam. Adawam, which means red. Now when you scroll down here, watch how slick these devils are. Idumea. What do you have here? Adam. They're trying to play on the name Adam, which the word Adam means ground because of the rich, deep, dark soil. But the word Edom is Adawam, which means red. Matter of fact, let me see if they bring that out here in the Ben Yehudi. Since we got it on deck, let's see what they say for the word red. Let's see if they're going to be honest and truthful, or if they're going to play games. Oops, let's go back. Okay, wait a minute. Hold it now. Wait a minute. Can it be so? Red. See, they put a dumb. They're playing games. It's Adawam. Devils. Redden. Reddish. Nah, see? They're playing games. And this is why these Edomites, you know, that teach similar to what we teach, but they teach that the so-called white people are Israelites. That's why they go with that. Because these devils try to say that Adam was red. Adam was not red. The word Adam does not mean red. It means ground. You have the name Adam, the man Adam. You have the word ground, which goes back to the Hebrew word Adama, which means ground. Let's see if we could pull that up. Let's go to Genesis. I mean, you know what? Let's type in the word ground. Beautiful. All right, so Genesis 2:5, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. When we look through here for the word ground, you have the word Adama. Ha is the, and Adama is ground. Because usually, not all the time, but usually when you have a ha at the end of a word, it makes it feminine, because the earth is feminine. That's why, you know, back in the days, the so-called 5%ers used to call a woman earth, my earth. You know, so the ha at the end makes it feminine. So ha Adama is the earth. But then when we go to the seventh Matter of fact, let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. I know they're gonna go off, but let's look it up anyway, cause that's how these devils get down. Ground, land, ground is general tilled, yielding sustenance, right? And things that yield sustenance do not grow in clay. You know, fruits, vegetables, and things of that nature, seeds, nuts, and all that, they don't grow in clay. They grow in the rich, deep, dark soil. That's where the word ground comes from, Adama. That's where the name Adam comes from, Adama. Adam, Adam. It doesn't come from the red clay or just clay in general. It comes from the rich, fertile ground, rich, deep, dark soil. It says piece of ground, a specific plot of land, earth, substance for building or constructing, ground as earth's visible surface, land, territory, country, whole inhabited earth, city of Naphtali. So this is what we're dealing with, the ground, tilled, yielding sustenance. This is what it means. And that's what Adam's name means. When we jump down to the 7th verse. And the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So pretty much we come from the water and from the ground. So we look up the name, let's see. Oh, actually, let me see what they, because the word man doesn't really mean Adam. The word man is Ayash. So it should have had Adam's name on here. Adam. See, they're trying to go to red and all that. Mankind, man, human being, mankind, Adam, first man. We just read that the word means, you know, ground. And matter of fact, let's go back. Let's go back up to the 5th verse. Let's go back to the word ground. All right. And see, Adama, which goes back to Adam. And it says dyed red, but it's not red. It's not talking about red. And the word ruddy does not mean red like so-called white people. Yeah, his cheeks were ruddy. You know, they were hot pink because of the health that protruded from his skin. Fuck out of here, man. Now you type in ruddy animals, right? We did this yesterday. And what do you have here? Oh, lo and behold, that don't look like a so-called white person to me. That looks like different shades of brown to me. Ruddy. Now they have a ruddy complexion. You click on there, boom. What do you have? I'm not sure if these are Cushites, because the Cushites look like our people anyway. You have some Cushites that look like so-called Puerto Ricans, and some that look like, you know, some are darker. You know, they vary in color. But look at that, ruddy complexion. This is what King David looked like. You know, then you have the deep dark brown, which in the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, I'm not sure if it'll come up. Just bear with me 1 second. Bear me 1 second. Dictionary. Because a couple of brothers put up different ones. They put up Ham, they put up, you know, they put up Esau or Edom. I doubt if they're gonna have that ruddy. So I just oh snap, they got it. Wow. I must cop that real quick like. All right, here we go. Let's go back here. Ruddy. a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion, in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. And it gives you scriptures of King David. Now notice it didn't give you scriptures for the word ruddy, of Esau, because Esau had a different color, even though they used the same Hebrew word, for, King David being ruddy and Esau being red. That's why it distinguished. It said red for Esau, like an hairy garment, because you had skins back then that were dyed red. But then you had the ruddiness of skin color, or the ruddiness of animals. You see? And this right here is a ruddy skin color, right? Or this is a ruddy heifer. This is because when you go, they don't have it here, but let's go back. When you go here, right? Let's see. Oh no, I'm sorry. Right here it says Bible. You click on that, boom, you get the ruddiness of the Bible. That's what ruddy is. And you see these children here, they look similar to that. Actually, you look at the horse. Look at the horse. All right. But Esau said that he was red. It's different. You gotta get it through that thick skull. Ruddy, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion, in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. Because some Hebrews, not every Hebrew was dark chocolate. You had different variations. You had different shades of brown. The Most High has a power of variety, like Elder Apostle Gabar always says. All right, so I'm glad I found that. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so let's see what else we got. All right, so that was it on that. That was the Adama ground. Oh, matter of fact, yeah. Adama ground, which goes back to Adam. It says dyed red. It's not red. We just proved that. If the name Adam derives from Adama, then it's not red. See, ruddy. Ruddy is a different color than red. All right, so let's end it off back in the book of Isaiah 34, when we were dealing with Esau. Isaiah 34. I know the lesson kind of deviated a little, but this is all the spirit, baby. We follow in the spirit. So, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment, because they will be judged. The word Edom, Idumea, is the English word Edom, or the Hebrew word Adawam, which means red. And the Lord said that they were the people of the Lord's curse. Haram, curse. Haram. And the word haram means to destroy, utterly devote, a curse. So they've been set up to be destroyed. So the curse means that they're cursed, skin color wise, and they're also cursed to be destroyed. They are the people of the Lord's judgment. That's why in Romans 9:22 it says, "What did the Most High, willing to show his wrath, or willing to show his power, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction." Yeah, that's right. The brother GMS fired up. He said another word for that is tawny. There's other words for it. Ruddy, tawny. There's other ones right now. I can't know, they escape me, but there's plenty of them. Karam, a thing devoted, thing dedicated, banned, devotion, a net thing perforated, have been utterly destroyed, appointed to utter destruction. Yeah, so they're the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, the wicked are created for the day of evil. But also is dealing with the way that they look, because they pretty much took on the curse of Cain, and the Lord stripped Cain of his pigment. That's why when you go to the Book of Mormons, what the Mormons try to do is they try to spiritually flip the script and say that the Lamanites, which were, I believe that's the name they gave to the so-called North American Indians, which were brown people, dark brown to light brown, that they were at one time white, but then when they sinned, the Lord put a skin of blackness upon them. You know, so what they did was they spiritually flipped what the Lord did to Cain. That's why Cain said, any man finding me is going to slay me. You know, like if he had an X on his forehead or 666 on his head, you know, all he had to do was put a bandana on, put a scarf on, put a head covering on. But no, it was the way that he looked that was the curse. And that curse after the flood, Cain and his descendants came back through the line of Esau. And Elder Yashawamba just did a lesson on that not too long ago. All right. So this has been the who are the E's, or the Edomites, the cursed people. And this particular segment of it has been the curse. So Lord's will, if the Spirit allows, I would like to continue on with the next segment, or I guess, yeah, for lack of better words, the next segment of this lesson. You know, so with that, I pray that you brothers and you few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.